Well, hi there. Welcome to the Movie Review Mom YouTube channel. I'm the mom and I do the movie reviews. And my goal is to give you the heads up on filmmaking quality and content so that you can make the best decision as to whether or not you want to spend time or money or both watching a particular film. So if you are a new subscriber, yay, you found me. I'm so glad. And if you're a returning subscriber, yay, thank you so much for coming back. I really appreciate your support. Anytime you like my videos or comment down below, that helps to spread magical YouTube fairy dust all over my channel. And I really appreciate all of your support so that more people can find my channel and hear my reviews so that they can know the good, the bad, the ugly about films. All right, so the movie I'm reviewing today is called Sound of Freedom. This movie is rated PG-13, although I have some strong tips for parents. So keep watching for that. And it is 2 hours and 15 minutes long. My overall movie review mom grade for this film is an A. I know that's crazy for film critics to give you their score at the beginning of the review. So keep watching so you can understand why I gave it such a high score. I'm going to give you an overview in a nutshell, and then I'll point out things I liked and didn't like, as well as offer tips for parents, themes worth talking about, interesting lines, funny lines, and recommendations for other films that are sort of similar that I think you might also enjoy. All right, so in a nutshell, this dramatic and heart-wrenching movie is based on the incredible true story of Tim Ballard, who quit his job working at Homeland Security in order to hunt down scumbag pedophiles and find innocent kidnapped children who have been sold as slaves into the sex trade. What noble, dangerous, and disgusting work that is. Now, I'm not going to sugarcoat it. Due to the topic, this movie is brutal to watch, especially if you have children. I was invited to watch the movie in a theater with a bunch of people, and all of the women in the theater were crying and just sitting there horrified, paralyzed by not what they were seeing, because we don't see disgusting images, acted out in front of us, but just because we know that's what's happening. So it's not mentioned in the movie anywhere, but I wanted to let you know that Tim Ballard created an organization called Operation Underground Railroad, where you can volunteer your time and talents and money, if you want, to help fight child trafficking. I've been donating and participating in some of their fundraising projects for several years now. It is absolutely worth your consideration. And while you're at it, encourage people to check out angel.com/freedom for free tickets to see the movie or to gift the tickets to other people. The film was directed by Alejandro Monteverde. Now, I thought he did a great job handling a very difficult, touchy, no pun intended, topic. He also wrote the screenplay with Rod Barr. So let me give you some tips for parents. This is not an appropriate movie for young children to watch. However, it is vital that you teach your children about stranger danger and to always be aware of their surroundings. There is some profanity in the movie, however, no F-bombs, smoking, lots of alcohol. We see people making cocaine. A lot of Spanish is spoken and sung, sometimes with subtitles, sometimes without. There's talk of suicide. And although we don't see the act, we definitely know that sex abuse is happening either in the room or nearby or has happened, that kind of a thing. Some of the themes that are illustrated very well in the film are kidnapping, sex trafficking, of course, family, your life's work, doing something in your life that truly matters, listening to God and following Him when He suggests that you go a certain path. And there is some fighting with guns, knives, and hand-to-hand combat. I meant to say that in the tips for parents section. So let me share some of the things that I really liked about this movie. First of all, I'm so impressed with Jim Caviezel. And I never know how to pronounce his name correctly. It looks like it's spelled Caviezel. I know that's wrong. Anyway, you know who I'm talking about. Not only is he a fine actor, but he is an exceptional human being. Did you know that he adopted three special needs children many years ago, and he continues in the cause of supporting children, especially by choosing to be in this movie that caused him to be blacklisted in Hollywood by many producers waiting to see what was going to happen with this film. Tim Ballard personally requested that Jim Caviezel play him in the movie, even though the producers advised him against it, which I just find to be so interesting. The rest of the cast was also superb and includes Mira Sorvino as his wife, Tim Ballard's wife, although she's not in the movie very often. Bill Camp, who's fantastic. Jose Zuniga, Kurt Fuller, Eduardo Verastegui, Alana de la Rosa, Lucas Avila, and Cristal Aparicio. So there you go. Among others. I mean, there were many others. So while the subject matter is very disturbing, haunting, and horrifying, the movie still manages to leave you with a positive feeling of hope in the end, which is kind of surprising and great. Hopefully, people's rightful anger about child trafficking will spur them to action, not necessarily by doing the dangerous work that Tim Ballard is doing, but by maybe donating to the cause or to volunteer time or money. And there's another call out at the end of the movie I'll tell you about here in just a minute. There's a sweet scene where a young boy gives Tim Ballard, played by Jim Caviezel, a necklace to thank him. And Tim Ballard didn't actually want that scene in the movie because he thought that people wouldn't believe that it happened, but it really did. So it's a necklace that has the little emblem of Saint Timothea used in the Catholic Church. And then, of course, his name is Tim Ballard. And so this boy believes, he is a saint, which he is, not in the Catholic way, but a true saint in that he's giving his life for his fellow man. Anyway, it's very, very sweet and a touching moment. Out of all of the movies and TV shows that Jim Caviezel has been in, he considers this film and the movie The Passion of the Christ, I don't know if you saw that, by Mel Gibson. That one was rated R, very bloody and gory, but he thought those two were his most important works ever. And I would agree, they were both excellent. His role, his performance is outstanding. We see some horrifying video clips that are real of children actually being kidnapped right there on the street. People will drive up like in a little moped and just see a kid on the street, grab them and take them off, never to be seen from or heard from again. It's just crazy how fast it happens. So despite the movie's very sober tone, there are still some moments of humor that made the audience that I watched the movie with laugh out loud. And I think they were grateful to have some kind of a comedic release after so much drama and trauma. So we get to travel to Colombia, Guatemala, and Mexico in the movie. As I said, a lot of Spanish is spoken. And I actually got to go to Colombia and Mexico, actually, not Guatemala yet. But I loved, both of those countries, Colombia and Mexico, really. And the people, the beautiful countryside and all of the food and all of that. And it's just sad to see that so much trafficking is done in those countries, as well as in America. The musical score in the movie was perfect, capturing the Latino flavor. I love the song The Sound of Freedom that's played at the very end of the movie by Estela Monteverde. Just lovely. Keep watching after the rolling credits at the end of the movie for a special moving message by Jim Caviezel. So I've never seen this done before, where the rolling credits are starting and then you see like a little timestamp, like a stopwatch at the right-hand bottom corner, and it says special feature, not special feature, I forget what it said, a special note or something like that. And then it starts doing a countdown from 2 minutes so that you know to stay in your seat and keep watching. And I thought that that was interesting that they didn't maybe do a split screen and have him talking while the rolling credits were going. But I suspect that the director wanted to make sure that everybody involved with the film got full screen acknowledgement and then full screen Jim sharing his message. And I've seen several interviews with Jim where he's talking about this movie, and he is very sober and on the verge of tears talking about this. You can tell he really embraced how vitally important this message is to get out. And the invitation at the end is to tell more people to go see this movie. And there's even a website where you can donate money so other people can afford and get free tickets to see the movie. And I thought it was interesting that it was never mentioned to donate to Operation Underground Railroad, which is, like I mentioned, an incredible cause for good. It helps support Tim Ballard's missions where he's going out with his crew, and they do so much after work as well, in addition to capturing the scumbag pedophiles and throwing them in jail, and they deserve much worse than that. It helps also to fund how they take care of the children afterwards that are rescued. And it's just astounding to learn the numbers of children that he and his mission have personally rescued. It makes you want to do something, right? Now, I always write down interesting lines and funny lines while I'm watching the movie, just so I can share them with you, so you can kind of get a taste for the dialogue. And I didn't write down any of the funny lines, even though there were a few moments, but I did write down a few of them. I'll share them with you. They're on my written website, moviereviewmom.com. The big famous line of the movie is spoken by Tim Ballard, again played by Jim, who says, "God's children are not for sale." And I love that. And then Vampiro is the Latin name for Bill Camp's character, who apparently used to be a scumbag, and he has changed his ways. And now he is working with Tim Ballard to make all of this stuff happen. And he's got the connections, and, he's still very rough around the edges. He's a great character. And he says, when God tells you what to do, you cannot hesitate. Because Tim Ballard is like, oh, what am I doing? And, he's just like, let's do this. And then Tim's detective partner, when he was with Homeland Security, is looking at these images after they've captured this pedophile. And he's just, you can see the look on his face as the camera zooms in, and you could see he's just horrified. And he says, I've been to a lot of murder scenes, but this, bleep, he swears, is different. And then he says a couple minutes later, he says, it's a messed up world. And that is the truth. There is so much ugly gutter entertainment out there, such that human beings are sold into slavery. It's appalling. And like I said, you're going to want to get involved. This is not a feel-good movie. You're going to feel really bad for most of the movie, but then you're going to want to take action, and I encourage you to do so. All right, so big thumbs up for this movie, but with warning. And please comment down below. Let me know if you've seen this movie, and I would love to know how you're getting involved in the cause. I happen to live in Las Vegas, and there are only 2 airports that I've seen in my many travels around the world so far that have little banners or flyers inside women's bathroom stalls at the airport. Here in Las Vegas, it says, keep your eyes open. If you see anybody getting kidnapped, or if you have been kidnapped, call this number. Now, I'm sure they don't have a cell phone on them, so I'm not exactly sure how they're supposed to do that. Maybe, talk to somebody in the airport and say, call this number or something like that. I don't even know how that could be done, but I love that the flyer brings awareness to it. And then the other airport, I think, was in San Jose, California, and it shows pictures of women and in the bathroom stalls again, and it says, if you are a victim, if you have been sold into slavery, and now you're back, here's a phone number to call to help you transition back into normal life. And the whole process is just heartbreaking. But again, this topic is serious and needs to be brought to our attention. I love when movies tell us this is happening. Make a stand for what is right, and help those who are suffering. And so big kudos, round of applause to the team that put this film together. And I know it was a long time coming. So thank you for being persistent and for helping the rest of us know what we can do to fight this horrible, horrible crime. And it's actually the fastest growing crime it tops drug use and gun or firearms arms trafficking. And there's an interesting point in the movie. I know I'm going off on a little tangent, but there's an interesting part in the movie where they're having a conversation and they're saying, you know, you can make a lot more money in this industry, whereas if you just sell cocaine, you sell it once and it's that product is done, right? But if you sell a child, you can use that child 5 to 10 times a day and make a ton of money forever. And just the thought of that just makes me want to throw up. And it's happening today. Anyway, okay, so you've heard my piece. Run out there, go see that movie, but more importantly, take action, do something. Thank you so much for watching. When you get a minute, run over to my Facebook Movie Review Mom group, and then also follow me and friend me on Instagram at Movie Review Mom, and my author name, Trina Boice. And you can learn about my books, my online courses, and all my other silly stuff. Have a fantastic day, and I will catch you in the next one. Bye for now.